the fanfare, the fireworks, and of course it's all fun and games until someone gets bucked off. West Texas is stock show and rodeo country, and we've had fun from the Permian Basin all the way to the big country. Now we take you where we've been to have a blast all over again.
Welcome in West Texas. I'm Sean Humphrey, and this is our rodeo special. If you're like I was when I first moved here and don't know a thing about rodeo, don't worry, because before we get things going, we'll show you how this sport works.
In bareback riding, the horse does everything it can to buck its rider off. If the cowboy makes it 8 seconds, he'll get a score and the horse gets a score. Judges combine those. Both get up to 50 points each for a total out of 100. Steer wrestling or bulldogging is next. Steer leaves the chute. Cowboy times a jump off his horse to try to get it to the ground as quickly as possible. Fastest time wins. And the team roping. One contestant ropes a steer by the head or horns before the heeler, as the other teammate ropes the hind legs. Fastest time gets a check. Then it's back to bucking horses. And the saddle bronc riding is scored the same way as bareback. Rider here holds on to a rein attached to the horse's halter. 8 seconds, both rider and horse are scored. Total out of 100. Tie-down ropers have to catch up to a calf, put it on its side, and rope 3 of its legs. Fastest time wins, and the calf has to stay tied for 6 seconds. Breakaway roping is a fast-growing event. Rope the calf as quickly as possible. The rope breaks from the saddle. Gotta be like lightning to get a check. Barrel racers run a cloverleaf pattern on horseback around 3 barrels. It's another timed event. Fastest time wins, knock one over, +5. The main event. Hold on for 8 seconds and the helmet isn't for show. Bull gets a score, cowboy gets a score, and some of these bulls have never had successful rides. Total out of 100.
We started our year in Odessa at the Sand Hills Stock Show and Rodeo. To kick things off, you'll get a glimpse of what I heard and saw, from the saddle broncs to the mutton busters.
And the home of the
The new year also brought in stock show season and plenty of stories of young students who have an obvious passion for agriculture. In Ballinger, we found out why it was hard for one senior to leave the show arena behind.
You know, reality is just kind of hitting. It's like, wow, today we move in calves for the last time. These are going to be my last few times, spending times with my Reynolds County friends.
Jacqueline Dankworth's journey into agriculture
I was raised on a farm.
began decades before she was born. For years, she's practically been able to find her way into the barn with her eyes closed. But when it comes to stock shows, this Ballinger High School senior is in the final leg of a farewell tour.
It's the last memories I'm going to make with my friends at the show. So it's kind of just sinking in, and it's kind of hitting home a little bit harder than it should.
It's a clock that doesn't move backwards, an hourglass that can't be turned on its head. Perhaps the steers she's leading into the barn aren't holding back tears, but Jacqueline is making the most of every second they have together.
It's just seeing that I don't have a lot of time left in the show barn or in the show ring, period, is really pushing me to do my best and get my best product out of what I have, obviously.
Farming runs in the family. After years, the Dankworth name could probably find space on the water tower without the city batting an eye. But growing up, not every four-legged friend on the farm was a favorite of Jacqueline's grandmother's.
I didn't like the bulls, you know. I'd rather have a heifer or a cow than have a bull somewhere around.
But there were always other animals to choose from.
We had sheep and cattle when I was growing up. I never showed. When my boys got to be the age of 9 or in the 3rd grade, then they started showing, and that's when I got involved more.
Even last year, the significance of seeing the family torch passed on wasn't lost on Jacqueline's biggest supporters.
Just seeing my dad's drive and how much work we've put in it together, just standing in the holding ring, he's like, come on kid, this is you, you've got it. And I saw my dad tear up for the first time in my life, and it was like, holy cow, like he cares as much as I do.
The farewell tour only has a few cities left. Jacqueline's career in agriculture will continue after the last stop. But still, that doesn't make it any easier to say see you later.
Out of the 6 kids, I have 3 left, 3 grandkids left showing, and she's the one that will graduate this year. But it's very emotional because you see them all going their own separate ways.
We didn't just hear from the seasoned vets of the show arena. One rookie, a Ballinger senior, built quite the bond with a pig she won't soon forget.
He actually is a very sassy pig, lots of personality.
You may remember Lacey Worthington. Before Christmas, she told us about her pig Wilbert.
He's a cuddle bug.
The pair shared its first stock show experience in December, and these two peas in a pod have only grown closer since then.
Sometimes he just speaks to me. I know that's gonna sound so cheesy.
Cheesy or not, there's something to be said about a friendship that puts Lacey on the receiving end of Wilbert's sass. Maybe a packed barn is like a party, where it helps to know someone like the back of your hand.
I just know when he's mad, I know when he's hungry, I know when he's like, girl, you know?
And at Lacey's second stock show, the nerves don't hit quite as hard with a trusted companion at her feet.
There's always gonna be like some doubts in my mind, like, am I good enough? Am I gonna do good enough? But at the end of the day, I'm gonna go out there and we're gonna do the best we can, and that's what makes us different from everyone else, is we're just us.
With some time before the show arena opens, Lacey and Wilbert are as cool as cucumbers.
I'm just kind of chilling around now. I'm just waiting for things to happen.
We also spent time in Abilene, where collaboration between 2 schools is key, and some parents are still getting used to cleaning up after animals. Abilene High and Cooper share facilities, and the schools have made a team of the 2 teachers who run either ag program. The schools are rivals on the football field, but in the barn they're like peanut butter and jelly. And by the time the Taylor County Stock Show came, we saw their combined preparation become important, essential for parents just getting their feet wet.
When you're dealing with, 5-6 species of livestock at one time, and those are all at different times during a stock show, any certain stock show, and all the stock shows overlap, we have to really rely on each other.
When we come back, it's a San Angelo Rodeo Rewind. Don't go anywhere.
I'm standing inside the Coliseum, where legends have been made and a hometown cowboy had a chance to make history. San Angelo's Dylan Hancock was the champion tie-down roper here in 2024 and finished his season by becoming one of 3 ropers from the city to win a go-round at the NFR. He doesn't get to spend much time back here, but says performing in front of the hometown crowd is everything.
Winning your hometown rodeo is probably the hardest thing to do, and I ended up getting it done, so it was special. I mean, this place went crazy, and just to be a part of that, it was awesome.
Roping runs in the family, and it's a friendly sibling rivalry that's helped Dylan's younger sister Macy continue to make strides in the sport. Competing in breakaway roping, she says he's a double-edged sword, helping her learn without forgetting to give her a hard time. He is her big brother after all.
He definitely is my biggest supporter, but also probably one of my biggest critics, but he helps me rope daily.
It was a steer wrestler from Cristobal who had the fastest time of the first round of slack here. Teal Sykes didn't get a chance to come back for the big performances, but he's still understanding what it takes to compete. The Tarleton State student lives life on the road during the season and says it's helping him learn the smaller things, like managing money while he competes.
Every day people don't think about how much feed and hay you got to give your horses. That'd be a big one probably. But even now with like prices going up, obviously fuel, but just eating out all the time because it's hard to bring food with us. So we got to eat out pretty much everywhere, and that puts a hurt on you.
Some of the San Angelo Rodeo's most accomplished performers are hidden behind the scenes. They won't be getting bucked off bulls, but they've had a huge hand in shaping rodeo as we know it.
Josh Hambone Hilton. The award-winning music director authors the soundtrack to the San Angelo Rodeo each year, but he says his job wouldn't be what it is without the man sitting to his right.
The style that generally most everybody uses now, Benji created.
Benji Bendeley directed what some call the Super Bowl of rodeo 22 times before Hilton became the NFR's music director in 2023. But it was a small rodeo in Iowa that brought the two together for the first time.
He came in and started doing sound effects and everything, and we're like, whoa.
Now, as the two have spent decades piling up accolades and working some of the largest rodeos in the world, they've forged a lifelong friendship.
We talk a lot on the phone, we give each other ideas, or just talk about, hey, how's your wife and kids?
The two worked together for weeks at Rodeo Houston, and Bendeley handled the lights and audio in San Angelo. But future meetings are few and far between.
We hold those times that we get to spend together very sacred.
Absolutely.
And have fun at the same time together, and just enjoy where we're at and try to do a good job at the same time.
But before these two friends and prominent rodeo music directors went their separate ways, they worked shoulder to shoulder for a few weeks. The time they've spent together shows.
That'd be the biggest
difference between the two.
Listen to us, we're answering. We've been together for 2 months.
But I'll tell you this, we're dear friends, and we're dear friends with a lot of our colleagues.
Every single barrel racer in San Angelo competes in slack, having to record a fast time just to have a chance to become champion. That creates an interesting dynamic, multiple-time world champions competing alongside first-time competitors.
There's no space for slowpokes here. Mere tenths of a second separated the top contestants.
1588.
Every barrel racer who wants to compete at the San Angelo Rodeo has to start here. It doesn't matter if you've won multiple world championships or if you're in your first full season, like Morgan Addison.
Yeah, it's an insane experience, especially just in the stall barn and walking around when, you have the world champion on one side and then the world champion from the year before is on the other side of you. So it's really cool just to be around the familiar faces, and it's honestly just a blessing to be here.
One of those familiar faces, Stevie Hillman. She's qualified for the National Finals Rodeo 8 times and says she welcomes getting to share the stage with the youngest barrel racers in the field.
I love the rodeos like San Angelo that allow unlimited entries, and everybody gets to come play, and you never know when it's your time or your day to win, and I think it's awesome that we get to compete against each other.
Last year's NFR was the first Hillman has missed in almost a decade. Now, she says, she's laying a new foundation in the hopes of getting back.
So we've been home a lot more with these young horses, rebuilding our team, and that's a 24/7 job, so I guess our grind right now is at home riding the young ones and rebuilding these rodeo horses to go.
It's not just the action inside the arena that entertains people of all ages. Ethan Purcell got to check out the carnival, finding out there's plenty of fun outside.
The carnival is back at the San Angelo Stock Show and Rodeo, and while what you're seeing is from the setup process, the fun has already begun on the grounds.
We've got probably around 60, 70 attractions, that are all throughout the carnival, and then we've got almost 100 vendors for shopping in our First Financial Pavilion.
One of the vendors that set up shop at this year's carnival is the co-owner of San Angelo's Salty Heifers gift store. Katie Amonette says she always makes a point to get her booth set up and running this time of year.
It's very much a money-making opportunity, and then it also gets good publicity for the store. This is our second year, so this is not our first rodeo. It's our second one.
Excited? You're
Yes,
excited?
we are very excited.
But the excitement doesn't stop at the pavilion. It reaches all over town with an economic impact of about $78 million for the city in hotel stays and restaurant visits, not to mention the tickets sold for the rodeo and carnival. This according to a study done by the San Angelo Chamber of Commerce.
So how do you do that? You have to attract people from out of town that want to come here.
That's where the attractions come in.
We always have our traditional attractions that we make sure that our carnival has, and all of those rides that we had when even I was a kid, those rides are still very, very popular.
But the carnival also has some new rides, including the zoo.
It's going to be probably the biggest attraction for middle school to senior to high school kids. They're going to really love that ride.
But Jonas says the crown jewel of the new attractions is the sea lion splash.
Kids are going to be able to come in and they're going to get their picture taken with them. So. And we were very, very fortunate to be able to get them to come down here. It's going to be really, really hard to keep them coming every year, so we're hoping that everybody likes them. We hope everybody comes out and has a great time.
The rodeo grind isn't limited to contestants. Vendors found out the competition continues outside the arena. They told us business was a bit slower this year. They juggle operating costs while competing with every other item a carnival goer can spend their hard-earned money on. While that made things difficult, they say the show must go on.
We've probably about half down on our business here at the rodeo, but there's been a lot less foot traffic.
You can't have too many bad shows in a row because it will definitely eat you up in the money world.
After the break, we look at youth rodeo.
I love it, and it's probably what I'll do all my life.
And the passion fueling its young contestants. Stick around.
The Coleman PRCA Rodeo has a generations-old history, with the first event taking place in 1936. When parents, grandparents, locals, and out-of-towners come together, there's a big spending boost in the small city. After one weekend, the Coleman PRCA Rodeo comes and goes. But while the horses and trailers are here, the family reunion is on.
It has probably in this community become the biggest return to Coleman week of the year.
Rodeo Association Vice President Heath Hemphill says it's bigger than homecoming, and the numbers back it up. The Chamber of Commerce estimates an economic impact upwards of $500,000 in just 3 days. With business booming, Prickly Pear Boutique's Annette Carroll says you won't have any luck with an overnight stay.
The rodeo brings in lots of foot traffic. Nearly, I think, every hotel room, every bed and breakfast, every Airbnb is booked for the weekend.
She says by the time Saturday morning's rodeo parade begins, there will be quite the crowd in Coleman, and she won't be short on customers.
The streets will be totally full of people, and they all shop around while they're down here. And like I say, then it brings a lot of out-of-town people in, and they want to see Coleman and shop. So I would say our foot traffic probably doubles or triples.
And at this event, some of the biggest spenders,
the businesses love it when all the rodeo contestants come to town,
are here competing to earn every dollar they can. Steer wrestler Bray Arms says rodeo is an expensive sport.
I mean, it costs $250 to fill up our big tanks, and I mean, sometimes we do that twice a day. And then the hay and feed for our horses to take care of them the way they need to be taken care of costs quite a bit.
Cowboys saddled up in Stamford for a time-honored tradition. The 95th annual Texas Cowboy Reunion drew crowds from across the globe to celebrate Western heritage. Fox West Texas reporter Jeremy J. Ford took us to the heart of the action.
For nearly a century, the Texas Cowboy Reunion has been a staple in Stamford, bringing together cowboys, music lovers, and families for a full week of celebration.
It's a rodeo, it's a celebration, and it's a commemoration of Western heritage.
The event has something for everyone, whether you're a rodeo fan or just looking for some holiday weekend fun.
We've got live music, fiddlers contests, cook-offs, cowboy fellowship, chuck wagon, meals, match horse race, and all kinds of events throughout the week.
But it's more than entertainment. It's a big boost to the local economy.
When all those people come to town, they spend money, they buy an Allsup's burrito, they get gas, they also get to see Stamford at its best. They get to see Stamford with its true spirit of community, where everybody pitches in to participate in this event.
I've been coming to the TCR since I was a little girl, and I now live in Haskell.
and I wanted to come vend and share the love that I have of clothing with all the other people that are coming through and we're talking to daily.
For vendors like Aaron Dunham and Sherry Walker, it's also a way to support small businesses and connect with customers.
You know, it's a lot of work to do what we do, to bring all of our things and set up. It takes time, it takes effort, but it was really great. As far as the income that we saw, it really helped boost our sales.
Celebrating 95 years of cowboy culture, the Texas Cowboy Reunion keeps tradition alive, one ride, one song, and one chuck wagon meal at a time. In Stanford, Jeremy J. Ford, Fox, West Texas.
Rodeo takes a commitment that doesn't go away when the contestants leave the arena. In Sweetwater, time and effort have come together to squeeze the best out of the competitors. And as I found out, even the youth can't take days off.
Competition is really tough, and it makes it fun.
Hours of preparation fuel the lifestyle of a rodeo contestant, and everyone involved knows it's a grind. That's why tough competition in Sweetwater doesn't mean the helping hands go away.
There's 4 or 5 people getting in the box with a kid that's competing against their own kid, trying to help someone get better. And that's what it's all about.
The youngest contestants are about as big as the calves they're trying to tie, and some of the older ones still can't drive themselves here. Yes, it's the same saddle, spurs, and shouldered rope look you've seen on the biggest stages, but NFR qualifiers aren't taking Algebra 1. In an already busy sport, schoolwork has become part of Tack Crisp's rodeo routine.
I do probably 90% of my school in the car, go into places. And then as far as managing my time, I really don't. You just kind of got to go with it and kind of see what happens.
The parents here also have to find ways to manage time and money. Rodeo isn't cheap, even at the amateur level. Lamisa's Brent Schmidt says supporting a young athlete doesn't leave much time to blink.
Between job and the kids and the horses and cleaning stalls, feeding and riding, it becomes a sun-up to sundown affair. I guess at the end of it, you just got to decide, you know, what's important to you and what's not.
Here, there's always a time to beat, but even in a loss, watching the contestants learn is what Schmidt says he enjoys the most.
There's dues to be paid when you get into this sport, and it's not easy, and there's a lot of disappointment along the way. And you learn perseverance. That's where we are. We're learning perseverance at this point.
When a split second can be the difference between winning and losing, that perseverance becomes essential. Schmidt's son Kelton has learned that lesson through experience.
It could be just moving your hand from here to just moving your hand barely. It can be a few seconds and it can cost you.
These young contestants have counted the cost, and Ava Lesh says saddling up is worth whatever comes next.
For me, it'd be like the adrenaline rush in the box and in the alleyway. There's no words to describe that feeling.
She and Jesse Foley compete in multiple events, hoping that their rodeo journey continues long after Sweetwater.
Where do y'all see this going for both of y'all?
I think this is going to be like full-time career. Yeah, I see a bright future, in my opinion.
We had a blast at the Sonora Outlaw Rodeo to round out our summer swing, and what better man to talk about the event than a hometown hero. Sam Powers is a 4th-generation rodeo cowboy, a steer wrestler who also team ropes and tie-down ropes. The Powers name is synonymous with the annual rodeo.
It's something that you take pride in, and you always want to help be better or make it succeed, and you want everybody to come and enjoy something that your family has been a part of since it's basically started.
We wanted to say goodbye with sights and sounds from our rodeo journey, from the fanfare and fireworks to the race to 8 seconds. You'll see the Bronx Bulls and Boots again. Perhaps soon you'll see us too. But for now, next time, thanks for watching.